What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am. And today, ladies and gentlemen, I've got a story time for y'all that I witnessed when I was eating at a restaurant. Honestly, I wasn't even directly involved, but the sheer stupidity that was on display I felt like deserved a video of its own, so that's what we're going to be talking about today. But as you can tell from the title, basically I was sitting at the patio at this restaurant, and this guy pulled up, parked in a handicap spot, and when someone confronted him about it, he started screaming about how he's not a citizen of the United States, handicap spots are un-American, all sorts of stuff. It was just wild. But yeah, I figured it would make a good video, but be sure to press the like button or no joke, no scam, this is going to happen to you. And without further ado, let's get into it. Seriously though, press the like button.
Get quiet now, lay low when you reach zone, bite down, making out, stack the bread, 'cause you're
Alright guys, so as you know, summertime's a little bit hot. It's not necessarily the best time to be eating at the patio, but the last couple weeks or so, it's been starting to cool down. I've had a couple of days in the 80s, which around here is great weather. So one night, me and a couple friends decided to go to dinner, and the restaurant we went to just happened to have this, outdoor dining area near their parking lot, but the weather was great. They had some misters out there, so we decided to sit outside. And the restaurant itself was pretty good. Food was good. That's not why you guys are here, though. As we're eating the meal, we were kind of just, talking, doing our thing, and we obviously had a beautiful view of the parking lot, the number one thing you want to look at when eating a meal. And right where we were sitting just happened to be where they had the handicap spots. There were two of them. And as we're sitting there, this dude pulls up in a truck that's just, playing. I don't know what you could call it. You couldn't really call it music. It was obviously something that was attempting to be heavy metal. And listen, man, it's not my favorite genre, but I do have some metal music I like. It just sounded awful. It sounded like him and his friends got together in a garage and decided to all play a different song on different instruments. But at the same time, they were recording it not on a good mic, but a flip phone mic from the early 2000s. It was just terrible. Anyways, it's blaring and he parks the car and he gets out. And, I wasn't going to say anything. I don't care. He didn't have the little placard that allows you to park there. And when he hopped out of the car, he kind of sprinted up to the door. Well, I guess the lady that was, doing the hosting thing and was in charge of, giving people a table or not, asked him if he had, his disability placard so he could park there. And the only reason I know that she asked something along those lines is because I could hear him from the patio, from him being inside talking to the hostess. And he starts screaming about, of course, he doesn't have one of those. The communist government of America has no right to be telling people where to park. It's one of the freedoms that he has the ability to do, and blah, 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 blah. And instantly, me and my friends are like, okay, this is going to be an interesting little stretch of time right here. It's not every day somebody starts talking about how their freedoms are being infringed because they can't park in a handicap spot. Everyone's got the uncle that's talking about how his rights are being infringed. Everyone has one of those, but it's not usually about parking. Anyways, they come back outside. It's not the hostess. It's a manager dude and the guy. And he kind of starts telling him that, first of all, he's not allowed to talk to people that way in the restaurant. And also he has to move his car. If he doesn't have the right to park there, he's not allowed to. They can have him towed. They're going to give him a chance to move his car so that way somebody that needs the spot can park there. And we're kind of listening to it, obviously staring at this point, because what else do you want me to look at? I love dinner and a show just like anybody else. And he starts yelling back at the manager just some interesting arguments, I actually am a sovereign citizen of this country. If you don't know what that means, it means your rule of laws don't apply to me. And one of those rules of laws is parking enforcement code. So as part of that, as a sovereign citizen, I can park wherever I want. And listen, I think everyone has seen the YouTube videos of sovereign citizens trying to tell cops that they don't have to give them an ID. Usually it ends with them, giving the cop an ID or getting arrested. And I don't know too much about the sovereign citizen movement. I really don't. I'm not an expert. But here's what I'd say. Even if there is any credibility to this, which I don't think there is, I really think it's just something made up that crazy people believe. If you can legally park in a handicap spot, let's say hypothetically rules don't apply to you and you can, why would you? It wasn't like this parking lot was jam-packed and full and there was nowhere else to park. Even if there was a world tomorrow where I could park in a handicap spot, I still just wouldn't do it because I don't need it, and that's just kind of a not nice thing to do. You know what I mean? Oh, you silly human, your laws don't apply to me. Even if tomorrow there was no laws, I still wouldn't kill anyone because I just feel like it's wrong to kill someone. There's certain things that you just shouldn't do, even if you're a sovereign citizen and no rules apply to you. Regardless, we're listening to him explain that he doesn't have to follow rules. The laws of the United States don't apply to him because he's not actually a citizen, blah, blah, blah. And the manager really doesn't know what to say to it because, once again, this is an argument over someone like parking in a spot they're not allowed to park in. He wasn't asking for a history lesson on why the Constitution of the United States doesn't work. And after his little spiel, the manager just kind of doubles down and says, well, that's cool. I wasn't asking what country you're a citizen of. I'm asking you to move your car or we can't serve you. And, the guy starts talking about, well, if you're not going to serve me, then I'll just take my business elsewhere. You guys need my hard-earned money. It's not the other way around. And the manager just goes like, yeah, okay, that's fine. You're not allowed to eat here anymore anyways. Even if you move your car, we don't want your money. So go ahead and just take your car and go somewhere else. And it was almost like Sovereign Citizen Dude just didn't expect that to be the play. He thought the second he mentioned going somewhere else to eat that, they would just cave and let him park there. But, the restaurant was kind of popping. The parking lot wasn't full, it wasn't crazy busy, but it definitely wasn't a situation where the restaurant was dead and they needed this guy's money. So whatever, he kind of starts arguing about how if they don't want to make money, he doesn't know why they're in business. Now he's having a philosophical debate about why this dude is operating a restaurant. And he's like, yeah, man, I don't really care. You need to move your car now. And he's like, I'm not moving my car anywhere. As I've said, I have every right to park there, blah, 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 blah. And the manager kind of starts to school him. He goes, all right, well, this is my private property. I own the building the restaurant is in, so you have to move your car off my property or I'm going to call the cops and have it towed. And for some reason, instead of taking that chance to leave, Sovereign Citizen Dude goes, you can't tow my car. It's not property of you, and the cops can't tow it because the rules don't apply to me. So he just gets in the car, turns on his music, turns down his windows so it's just blasting, and is like, they're not going to move me. Go ahead and call the cops. Well, the manager did what anyone would do in that situation, goes inside, tells them that they need to come tow this car because it won't leave and it's parked in the handicap spot. And listen, as I said, I know nothing about sovereign citizens, okay? But I will say, if you want to represent your argument well and, get people to listen to your argument and be on your side, just being a nuisance to some dude trying to run a restaurant doesn't make you look good. The rest of the sovereign citizens should be pissed that this dude was out there just causing problems for no reason. That being said, nothing he said at all made any sense. So if this dude's actually representing stuff, y'all need to just rework the whole vibe. Alright guys, I'm going to interrupt the video for just 1 second. If you take a look on your screen now, you'll see a gift card code. For those of you that don't know, I give one of these away in every single video I post here on the channel as a way to say thank you to you guys for subscribing and turning on those notifications. So, if you haven't already, subscribe, turn on notifications so you never miss another video. I'd really appreciate it. And on that note, I'll shut up and get back to the video. Thanks. Anyways, he's sitting there protesting, I guess, but as I said, the manager just says, okay, well, I guess I'll call. So, whatever, about 5 minutes later, a tow truck shows up first, and they're kind of like, hey man, I'm gonna tow your car unless you move it. And he's like, I'm not moving it, you can't tow my truck, this is my private property, private property is one of the things that you can't take away, blah, 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 blah. Keep in mind, he's on private property in this parking spot, but whatever, the irony of that just kind of goes right over the top of his noggin. And the tow truck guy is kind of like, all right, well, I've got to tow your car. I can't tow it with you in it. Will you please just make my job easier and get out? One way or the other, this is not going to end well. And the guy's just kind of arguing with him. He says he's not going to get out of the car. So whatever, the tow truck guy kind of goes and gets everything lined up so that way when inevitably he gets out of his car, he can just scoop it. And 5 minutes after that, the police show up. It wasn't a high priority thing. They didn't even come in with sirens on. And they start kind of trying to, fix everything, figure out what's going on. All right, let me know what's up, blah, 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 blah. And for some reason, the guy in the truck decides to not talk to them at all. Now, listen. I get it. He thinks that there's no rules that apply to him when it comes to any of this stuff. He thinks that the truth of the matter is it's simply impossible for him to be arrested because the laws don't apply to him. That being said, probably would have made sense to at least explain your side of things because now they're only getting one side. And obviously, it's the right side in this situation, but you didn't do yourself any favors by not communicating with them. So they kind of decide that they're just going to cite him for parking in the spot too long, and, if he gets out and lets him tow it, that'll be the end of it. But if he wants to sit in the car and make it a problem, then they also have, disorderly conduct or whatever. And at this point, me and my friends decide that we're gonna skedaddle. We had finished our meal, and also, we had watched this entire thing go down, and the dude seemed really pissed off, and we didn't really want to stick around and see what happened when the cops, maybe had to arrest him. So we go to our car, which is on the other end of our parking lot. We parked pretty far out, because we hadn't come straight to the restaurant. We had, been in a restaurant. Well, that wasn't English. We had been in a store. You guys know what I'm trying to say. And we start hearing some yelling, so we turn around, and we see the cops running after the dude who's now out of the truck. And he's kind of running across the parking lot. But as they're running after him, we see the tow truck swoop in, pick up his truck as the cops are chasing him, and dip out of the parking lot. And by the time the truck is gone, the tow truck has taken it, the cops get him. They've tackled him on the ground. We hear yelling and arguing. We're not trying to stick around, though. We decide we're going to dip. So we get in our car and we're driving out of the parking lot. But as we're driving out of the parking lot, we have to drive by them. And sure enough, he's just arguing with them. They finally have him calm down now, but the truck is gone. Tow truck dude saw his opportunity and took it. He was like, all right, I feel like I'm not going to get many other chances to have this dude not freak out about this. So while he's distracted, seriously, though, I still don't really know why that guy chose to die on that hill, man. Out of everything you could really hate passionately, it seems bizarre to be so angry about handicap spots and, call them un-American. But I don't know. People out there really be wild, dude. I don't think the internet is necessarily good for everybody. That being said, though, hopefully you enjoyed the story time. If you did, I would really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought, or, of course, you could subscribe and turn on those notifications. If you want to help me out, a link to the intro song can be found down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffcast, or you could use code SCRUBBY at the G Fuel checkout for a discount. But ladies and gentlemen, we got to talk about something exciting right now. You see, yesterday, the 29th, the new Halloween merch came out. As you can see on screen, it's some of the coolest merch to ever exist on the history of the planet, and it can be yours by visiting the link in the description. So be sure to get your Halloween on, pick out some Halloween merch, and get it. And on that note, though, guys, I think that's everything I got to plug and talk about. Hopefully y'all enjoyed. If you did, as I said, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see all of you guys next time with another video. I'm out. Peace.